In this video, we will be growing Peter Pan hybrid Pat Patty summer squash from seed, started in paper towel rolls. And we will discuss all the growing requirements, hand pollinate, prune, and take action with squash bugs, also cooking and reviewing, and finally saying goodbye at the end of a long, rewarding growing season. Okay, so we're going to plant these Peter Pan hybrid summer squash. I've already got them filled. I've got them watered. They're quite long. I put in 3 seeds. I'm going to push it down 1 inch. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to top it if I need to, water it a little bit more, and then I'm going to put it in the greenhouse. April 27th. Look at how great our melons and our Peter Pan zucchini are doing back there. Excellent. May 9th, and I've got all of the melons up here, and these two are the Peter Pan hybrid summer squash. We're starting to feel a little bit of velvetyness on that leaf, and not so much on the melons yet, but this one is nice. It is May 15th, and I have got those Peter Pan hybrid squash, summer squash, those Pat Patty varieties. Look at how fantastic the root system ended up being, especially since I decided to use these with paper towel rolls, tubes, instead of toilet paper. Okay, now we're going to plant our Peter Pan summer squash Pat Patty variety. And I've got 2 holes. I got 2 plants. I got 2 holes. I'm going to put it at the opposite of the pot here. I like to really drown a hole first because it's really important to start getting those roots acclimated and happy when you transplant them in here. I've got this in very well worked soil. I'm constantly, especially in the winter, coming out here and cold composting in place. So this is going to be some fantastic soil for it. I have also never done any squash, zucchini, cucumber, melon, nothing from that family in here. So as you know, with your squash and your zucchini, you kind of gotta mix it up. Always playing hide and seek with these things. So once this gets drained, I am going to plant this to the soil level within this paper towel tube, and then I'm going to re-water it again, and then I'm going to leave it alone until it dries out. Let this go for several days while it does its thing. It establishes its roots, and you can see I have it all the way over here to the side. I'm going to do the same thing so I can get enough distance but still utilize this pot as one location. So because this is an absolute gorgeous prime sunny spot out here, I can actually thin these down. I'm going to leave this one alone. This one right here seems to be the smallest. So I'm going to take my fingers down at the base of the dirt or soil, and I'm just going to lift and pinch that out, and that's it. Now we've thinned that out. These are an annual, they're not frost hardy. June 4th, looking at these Peter Pan hybrids, and you can see they are starting to form their bush habit. I do have some pepper on these because they are getting very tempting to rabbits or groundhogs when they come around. Perfect zones for these are zone 2 through zone 11. They do require full sun, which would be a minimum of 6 hours of direct sun per day. June 9th, we're looking at this Peter Pan squash, and we are starting to develop some nodules. Isn't that fantastic? And over here as well, June 17th, and look what has opened for us. With one behind it, They're males. Males always come first. This is how you can tell it's a male. Skinny, no little zucchini. June 21st, I got 2 gorgeous full male open blossoms over here. Powder on here because I'm having some rabbit issues. I do love my rabbits. I do not want to poison my rabbits. But look, woo-hoo, how exciting. So those little boys over there are gonna pollinate her with the bees. June 24th. Guys, it takes 50 days to harvest. It's the 25th. You can see this one right here. And then that one right there. This one on the other side is just getting bigger every day. I did not hand pollinate anything over here. And it's looking fantastic. These do, when you get down to the leaves, it has that earthy squash pumpkin smell to them for sure. All right, guys, it is June 28th. I have already peeled the bloom away from the stamen on this hybrid Peter Pan summer squash. And look at how gorgeous that is. And that is what a female looks like. It's got the little baby squash on the end. See that bloom right there in the middle? Skinny, leggy, no little baby summer squash on it. That means that's a male. So I've already pulled this away. I am going to take this and I am going to put it in the center of the female. This is the stamen. I'm just going to put it in the middle and wiggle it around inside the female, which is right here. Trying to get as much of that pollen rubbed off in the center. And you can twist it, twirl it. Now I need to take it off. There we go. That's it. That's hand pollinating. The bees don't help you. That's how you can do it yourself. All right, it's June 29th today, and we need to pick this fruit. You want to pick them when they're small, when they're shiny. You want to pick them often, and pick all of the fruit when you can pick them. Don't just let them sit here or else you will stop production of that fruit. So in order to pick this, we should be able to twist this and it will come right off. I'm not convinced. Well, there it goes. That was nice and easy. I didn't feel much resistance at all in this stem. Okay, so we can keep these up to a week in the refrigerator, and that's what I'm gonna do because that is not a lot to get any skillet dirty. But you guys know I already have 2 more over here. So by the time these mature, we should be good. So you can see right here, that one's developing. This one in the back is developing. So when I have 3, we'll have a nice little taste test. And I've got pepper all over this because the groundhogs are back. I also like this green because it doesn't stand out. It's camouflaged. So that should help us with the varmints. It is July 1st today. Do you see some of these leaves down here that are starting to yellow and brown? That's the plant telling you, I don't need these anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and prune these. I got the scissors. You want to prune those leaves with scissors as close as you can to the actual stem of the plant because they're hollow like a straw in there. Take this one right here. Get my scissors way down here. And I'm gonna cut without actually cutting the stem. Look down there. It really just looks like an open straw. We don't want to just take the leaf because we don't want all that straw collecting water when it rains or when we water, because that's gonna rot out our plant. So I'm going to continue to just do that, and I'm going to do it around the bottom, and I'm probably going to take off anywhere from 1/3 to 2/3, and I'll be right back to show you. All right, look at how much airflow is in there. It probably took, I would say, closer to 2/3 of the leaves off. And remember, you're starting down at the base because you do want these upper leaves so we don't have any sun scald. And when you come, sometimes you cannot get this close until you start cutting, and then you can come back and get closer to the stem here. I did go ahead and check. I don't see any squash bugs. Remember, the eggs are always on the back of the leaves. Look at all of the airflow we've got going on here. Be careful when you're cutting not to cut off any of the flowers, the stems. Look at all the nodules that we're getting. We do need the pollen. Well, the bees need the pollen. And look at that. Probably one more day and I'll be able to pull that off. Twisted real nice for me on the last one. And I went ahead and I scratched everything up so the roots got some nice aeration to them. But when you take these off, you do what you do with any other plant. We are not growing these for the leaves. We're growing these for the fruit. So it puts more of that energy into the fruit, into the blossoms, male and female, because that's really what we are looking for here. And it does help to reduce powdery mildew the more that you take this off. This is not, I was putting talc powder and pepper on this to keep off the rabbits, is the talc powder, and groundhogs do not like pepper. Rained for me last night, so it seemed like a really good opportunity for me to come out here and just do what I need to do before I repowder and repepper everything. Sure, with your squash plants that you are checking the back of these for squash bug eggs, because they love, obviously, the squash bugs. That's why we call them squash bugs. And make sure that you are not planting your squash in the same spot year after year, or you're going to be plagued with them. And you want to make sure that I don't plant anything, or you don't plant anything in the same spot for 2 years. You want to give time to let those clear out. Now, a great companion planting is also peas and beans, or you can do the 3 sister method, where you grow your beans up corn and put squash at the bottom of that. I want to see if I can actually pull this. Let's have a little look. There is a little bit of weight here. You don't think it's going to be like that, considering how small it is. And I'm just going to twist it like a knob. And there we go. All right, I'm going to take it into the house with the other one. I'm going to wait for this one, which shouldn't take long. And then I'll cook them all together, and that will be about 1 week for us. All right, guys, it is July 5th, and I've got some bees flying around here helping me out with pollination. We're going to go ahead and pick this one, so now I'll actually have 3 in the house that I can fry up. And you can also see another little baby one starting to develop here, another female. Flower hasn't opened yet. Remember, you only got 24 to 48 hours to come out here and to pollinate those females. And we definitely have plenty of males and plenty of bees right here. So I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to start to twist. And pull, and now we're good. I'm gonna clean them up, wash them up, cut them up, and I'll see you back in the kitchen. All right, so I need to fry these up, and I just want you to know that this is the first one that I cut. It's still as firm as the one that I picked yesterday. So you guys, I'm gonna cut these up. I'm gonna fry them in olive oil, butter, a little bit of garlic, salt. It's gonna be fantastic. All right, so I cut them with a serrated knife. I've got about 4 pieces in here. Tried to keep them about the same width. Look at how gorgeous they are. Tiny little seeds. They are going to be fantastic. One last thing, when I was cutting all 3 of these, they all cut like they were very crisp, very fresh. So a great long keeper. Woo, those are delicious. Absolutely delicious. I'm gonna pair it with some chicken strips, barbecue sauce, got some rice-a-roni going on, just keeping it real easy. I'm gonna give you the shot. The ones that we did were about 3 inches a piece. And this is how much it makes. Honestly, I feel like this is 1 serving, especially if you're really into it. All right, all done. I am so excited to get in here and get some more of this gorgeous, delicious Peter Pan hybrid summer squash. It is delicious. See how this one is just hanging on. And you can see it's connected up here with these little mini thorns. So you do want to be cleaning out your old blooms as well. You can come out here and prune just a little bit, take some of that bottom brown stuff. And also the bloom stems that no longer need to be here, I can come out here and tidy all of this up again. All right, July 15th, we are looking at these Patty Peter Pan squash, and that one looks sensational. This one did not make it. Also have one right over here developing, and a little one right here. See this one right in the middle? Didn't make it. Not a good pollination ratio so far. Oh, there's another one right next to it. Excellent. All right, it's July 20th. We are looking at these Peter Pan summer squash. And did you see that bee? This is definitely a female here. This one needs to be picked. Right, little one right there. Also one here. All right, it is July 27th. We had a huge storm, so that tomato got knocked off from the 4th of July's over here. We have another one growing here. A few smaller ones mixed and mingled. This one is gonna develop soon. And that storm also took down this stalk. If I would have supported it, it probably would have been better. All right, so over 100 degrees and the growth will slow down. The sweet spot for these is 65 to 85 degrees outside for that perfecto temp. So moist, not wet, not soggy, not standing in water. General guidelines are 1 to 2 inches per week. See where this stem broke off, so I was very hesitant about propping this stem up over here because it was completely into these gorgeous marigolds over here. If I were to grow these again, and quite honestly, I'm not sure if I would. If I did, I would have to plant more than the actual 5 plants that I started with, to where you can actually get a good amount of mature Patty hybrid summer squash at the same time, because I do not want to have to just be frying up one at the time. I would rather have kind of a nice mess of them at one point. I did come out here and I pruned again. This is about the 3rd or the 4th time that I have pruned this plant. And I went pretty easy on it because it is part of that heat wave. We're gonna have a real tough little time of it today. So I did keep that in mind as I was pruning this. but just from the 4 remaining plants, that's how much I took off. Very container friendly. 1 plant per 12 inches. All right, the height is gonna end up being 24 to 30 inches, and the width can be up to 36 to 48 inches. And you can see where I have pruned. If you keep this thing really pruned, you are able to get a lot into a little small galvanized bucket. It is August 1st. I just spotted my first squash bug eggs on a couple of leaves, so I'm gonna tend to them. But look, I also have spotted ones that have just hatched. So if you, these are very, very pretty. These are very, very irritating. So the solution is I am going to dunk this whole entire thing into my jar of soapy water. I'm going to pinch out these eggs, or you can do the whole thing, and I'm going to cover it, shake it up, leave it, and I'm basically going to drown these squash bugs. And then I'm gonna go through and check all of what I just pruned, and I'm just gonna put it in the garbage. I do not want to just leave it out here for those squash bugs to actually hatch and go everywhere else in my beautiful little garden here, because I got enough issues as it is. And this normally happens where I will discover squash bugs about August, almost towards the end, because I do not plant squash, zucchini, or pumpkin in the same place year after year. You gotta move them around. And I did not plant any, I don't think I've ever planted squash or zucchini right here. So after this, I'm gonna have a 2-year waiting period so that you can prevent having all of this happen full grown. These are just little babies, but they are so irritating. So I have completely got almost every leaf off of there except for the very top, and you can see how much more of a pile that I have here. Now the whole entire Kubrick family will also get squash bugs. So all of your gorgeous cucumbers. This is one of the best cucumbers I've ever grown. This is the general leaf. So I found some more that have eggs on the back of the leaves. That's usually where they appear. I actually found some on the front of a leaf. That's very odd. For this variety here, for some reason, they're not pollinating well. These were just on the floor, nice on the ground, nice and mushy. The first thing that I did was I put the infants in here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the seeds that I found to the water. And I can see I've got a few more in here. Guys, these squash bugs, they can hatch within 5 to 10 days of being laid. That is also why I went ahead and I got really prune happy here, and I checked the back of all of these leaves on everything, and you can see right here, it's the only one that I have that's viable for picking. I have 2 more in the refrigerator. This would be number 6 that I could actually eat, and it's August. They are fancy, but they are not prolific. What I will do is I will attach the Italian vining zucchini that was huge, prolific, and I did not have any squash bug issues, mainly because I grew it back here on an archway. I have a absolute fully detailed video already on the channel on this squash. Guys, I had 90 minutes of footage on this. I got it down to 30 minutes. It's power packed, it's detailed. You should not have one question by the time you're done watching this video. I will attach it for you. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this up. I am going to go get a bag. I'm going to seal it because I don't want anything else coming out here. And I'm gonna put it in a lidded trash can, and garbage pickup is tomorrow. And you're gonna have to stay on it. you have to stay, now that you've seen it, you've got to stay on it. You've got to be checking it. That's one of the downfalls of squash. Usually one of the upticks, maybe you could say, one of the positives is that squash will be heavy producers for you, and usually very easy. But once you spot your squash bugs, you have to take care of it before it becomes a real nuisance. And I also have marigolds over here next to my melons, also part of the cucumber family. So I have planned accordingly, and I'm very glad that they sort of stayed back until August. More marigolds right here with this gorgeous melon. I'm gonna do a full video on this. This is a French melon, medium size. I've got two growing side by side here. This one is doing fantastic for me. It's about the third year I've grown this. Very pleased with this. I'll see if I can attach this as well. To the end, if you would like to watch that. I'm also going to do a full video on these marigolds. Super easy to start from seed, and they have gotten very, very huge for me. I mean, look at that right there. Very, very huge for me. Marigolds are also great with keeping away your tomato worms. So it was no mistake that I had flanked the squash, marigold, 6 new varieties of tomatoes, and marigolds again. So you can help yourself out, but once you see this is developing, you have to stay on top of it. There's no getting around it. Sorry guys. You do want to keep this moist because they do have a shallow root system in here. August 9th, and we are looking at these Peter Pan hybrid summer squash. Guys, this is the second set of 3. This is what I've gotten so far in August, 6. And I have been keeping them in my plastic bag in the refrigerator as I get at least 3. So I can feel like I'm not dirtying a pan for just 1 to fry up. I think this is a little bit ridiculous. They are looking pretty worse for the wear. I'm going to cook them up today. So let's look at the back of this. A miniature pat patty type of light green, 1 to 3 inch fruit, meatier than most. Okay, that's all true. I don't know if they're meatier than most, but the color's right. The size is right. This is probably about 2 inch. It's probably about 3 inch right there. Distinctive, delicious, sweet flavor, and vigorous. Early bearing plants. All right, let's go back just a minute because I was laughing at early bearing. Not the fact that they are delicious or sweet flavored. That's very true. They have a fantastic taste on them. What I was laughing at is early bearing because who cares? If they're not prolific, it really doesn't matter if you get them first because you're not going to get them at a steady pace throughout the season. So, are they delicious? Yes. Do they have a sweet flavor? Yes, they absolutely do. Container friendly, 1 plant per 12-inch container. Well, you'd have to really just line these up. Line these containers up to get a adequate amount that you could actually have a good pan full. Yeah, I'm not really impressed with these. I do like the flavor. I do think they are pretty. They were pretty easy to grow. I don't like the fact that I only got 6 and I still had squash bug issues. That's not really this problem here. That's not really the problem of the squash itself. But sometimes you have to weigh 6 against, now you're going to have to deal with squash bugs for the rest of the garden. So I'm going to fry these up. I'm going to enjoy them. So it is the 12th of August, and can you see how spiny these summer squash got? They really just look like vertebra, curved vertebra here at the neck or at the coccyx. Look at this. We've got some going on here, but they don't seem to be getting to fruition. It is August 25th today, and I pulled those summer squash. I'm going to cold compost in place here. because there are holes at the bottom of this. This is sitting on soil. Worms can get in here and they can go ahead and take care of all of these melon skins. I grew these melons myself. I'll show you just a second. But I'm going to let the worms go ahead and devour this. They're going to make the soil very aerated, very nutrient dense, and then it's going to be time for some fall lettuce, because fall's already happening here, guys. All right, here they are. They're all pulled out. Here's the remaining 4 of them. And like I said, I only got 6. That's it. That's the final total. There are a few little baby ones that looked like they were going to start. This hasn't grown in like the last 3 days. So I went ahead, I made an executive decision to go ahead, just pull these, because I think I'd rather have my all year round lettuce. You can also see just how shallow this root system is here. It was already broke right here. This one has broke as well. I didn't realize it. So they're a little bit fragile. They're shallow root systems. So would I grow these again? Probably not. I'm going to keep the seeds in case I need a little space filler somewhere. However, I think I'm going to go ahead and recommend that if you are a food blogger, if you want a chef's garden, if you're looking to grow things that you cannot find so easily in the grocery store, even a farmer's market, this one would be good because it is delicious and it is beautiful. It's uncommon, especially the light green and not it being yellow. That's what I would recommend for this. However, if you are looking for something that is prolific, this is not your guy here. Peter is not prolific. Again, I ended up with 6. Here's that melon that I'm going to bury. It goes from a dark green to a golden, and this is Nor de Carmes. I really enjoyed my growing season this year. I really enjoyed trying a lot of new and different things. These marigolds really kind of surprised me. I gotta tell ya. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I'm gonna ask you to like, if you're still here, like. You might not like the outcome of this because I didn't. I really wanted more than 6, but it was kind of a nice break because I still have about 3 bags of the Italian vining zucchini cubed up and frozen up for stir fries, chilies, soups, eggs, all that good stuff. I need to come out and deadhead some more. So that's what I am going to recommend to you. I'm going to thank you so much for tuning in and for watching. I really appreciate it. If you would please like and subscribe, and I really hope to see you again next time. Plenty more videos coming up. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and I invite you again to subscribe, as I have been gardening for over 40 years and have a lot to teach, show, grow, review, experiment with, and my favorite, a specific variety everything deep dive. So let's try new things together, mix it up, and have a glorious day.